So I was just messing with this. I've got to re-glue the bed side on that side because the super glue detached. So it's going to look like a mess like that side when I'm done. Oh well. But I'm trying to figure out this rear suspension with this steerable P01 Raptor rear axle. I was going through all my links, and with the cut chassis braced back together, that removes any mounting points in this area. There's just nowhere on the chassis rails to mount anything because of the bracing it back together, the solder. Let me show on this other one. These holes right here are filled with solder, gone. This is gone, and that only leaves these forward holes. So what I've done was made some really long aluminum links. I actually made these a while back for a different idea that didn't work out, but that gives me this. They're not super strong, they're kind of flimsy aluminum, but that links it, the rear axle, all the way to the very front, right behind the front tires. I used the holes for the floor mounts. The front holes are what I put the ball studs in, the ball screws. I put one here, one regular screw in the back hole on each side, and then the rear has no ball screw, none whatsoever. They're just regular screws. They're actually the screws that hold the aluminum pieces together, these, for the aluminum chassis. That's not focusing. That's the aluminum body mount. It's that type of screw right there that goes in the end of these. Those. So there's one there, one there. I haven't figured out where I'm going to mount my forward links, or upper links, I mean. The floor pan here is not attached to anything except this. It's glued together, so I don't need to put it here because I don't want to risk breaking that. It'll have to be either on the floor here, or I'm going to have to get another set of longer ones and make some new holes in the chassis ahead of where I braced it together, and maybe get that to work, because these short ones, the only way I can use these short ones is to go into the floor in this area. Yeah, so I think I'm going to find a longer set. I have that one might work. It's kind of heavy duty also. That's actually thicker steel rod. I've got two of those right there. All the rest of my really long ones were not as long as these aluminum ones that I had made, so that's why I'm using those. They put the rear axle in the perfect location, and I know the truck looks funny with rear steer, and I'm not going to try and articulate it right now because I have to cut the wheel arches out in the bed sides, but it will articulate some, decent amount, because of the ball studs in the forward part, but it's gonna twist the entire suspension link with the ball stud, on the ball stud in the front. The whole link will stay like this, and it'll I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, the shocks, I mounted them. Let's see if I can get this. The body mounts, I had cut this piece off that goes across here, and it kind of made a V here, and it went from side to side. I cut that out to give clearance for a servo in here, and what I'm doing is I had drilled 2 holes in the back this way. They were too far back and made the rear end set up really high. So I moved them forward, drilled 2 more holes that go directly into the sides, straight at where the screw goes, right here, and just put the ball studs in there, ball screws, and that gives it about the perfect height. Let me get this axle positioned a little better. Move that link that's hanging down. Yep. But that'll give it about the perfect height. It sets up a little higher in the back than I'd like it to, but I'm trying to do this one without cutting a hole in the bed floor and going up higher with shocks. It seems like it'll work. It's a goofy little idea that I'm doing to this truck anyway, so it's just completely weird. The rear axle is just a slight bit narrower than the track width of the front. The only way I can get that to show up is maybe here. It's just a couple of millimeters difference at the most. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd show that real quick because I finally found something I can use these aluminum links on. They're not strong though. They are very bendy. So, and this still has the 3,000 RPM gearbox in it. I'm gonna have to remove that before I finish this, because yeah, that's just way too fast for what I'm building. This is going to be kind of a basher crawler. Let's see what I can get out of the front suspension, independent front suspension, before I destroy it. Once I destroy it, I'll upgrade the whole thing to the aluminum stuff in the front, which that's, everybody knows that's, you know, another what, 70 bucks, and then I think 30 for the rear axle, unless I do a steering rear axle aluminum one, and then that price goes up even more, because then I'd have to buy a whole set of front and rear to get the front axle, the aluminum front axle, and I think those are $60-some also. I don't remember the exact prices. I look at the stuff all the time, but I always forget because I look at a lot of different stuff. I window shop. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this Tundra would perform. Short wheelbase, 4-wheel steering, just not anywhere near the way it's supposed to be, other than that front end. So I didn't do that. That did that on its own. I don't have anything that's all-wheel steering, 4-wheel steering, whatever you want to call it. So I've never done this before. Any help would be great with how to wire everything, the dual servos and whatnot, because yeah, I've never done that. I thought about doing it to my X01 a while back, which I never finished. I don't really have anything else that I would put 4-wheel steering on other than maybe that blue truck. Maybe Gammy, Baby Fat Girl. I don't know. There's no room to really do dual ESCs or anything on this thing. It's so tiny. But that, I'm pretty sure the way I've chopped this up, I will have enough space under the bed for the 1.7 servo on that axle. So that's my thoughts. So I'm gonna have to redo the bumper stickers because they're just, yeah. Especially the please honk if anything falls off one. I like that one. The honor student. Because my son was an honor student for a little while. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I got really good grades in science, but not in math. And then worked in a sawmill and had to do math and learn tape measures and everything, and well, was never an honor student though. But that was my idea for where I was going to cut the door. Bring it back just a little bit and then down, and then go across where the door handle would be at a slight angle from here, and then chop it into this way and then up and then up. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. I'm 50-50 on this one. Actually, I'm more 60 don't like it, 40 do like it. Yeah, I don't have a clue right now. That's why I went ahead and marked it and just left it, and wanted to get this rear suspension started so I can quit propping it up with things like that, you know, get stuff out of my way and be able to actually look at it. And it keeps tilting. That axle keeps doing that because of the sharp angle that the shocks, you can see the shocks are mounted forward. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. My tire situation just worse and worse on these. They are now like 26 millimeter. I don't know what in the world happened. They just shrunk tremendously. Right at 26 millimeters. I have no idea how this happened. $25.5. I'm done. I am done. This set of tires has gone completely ridiculous, and they are no softer. All the rest of them came out soft. I've got another set of really big tires that are hard plastic, hard rubber, I said plastic, soaking in here just to see if maybe it's something about the compound of the rubber that made it do that. I have no idea. Those are off of a it was a really cheap New Bright. Oh, what was that thing? Oh, it was like 15 years ago. My son tore it up, and I kept the tires for a model, and I never put them on it. And I tried them out on my Bronco for a little bit, my orange Bronco, 125 scale with the Orlando stuff, and I had the wheels that I put on my pink truck on those, because those are I think they're like 22 millimeter wheels that fit in them. Those right there fit also. The WL Toys aluminum wheels. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to cut the video off before I run out of space. I've been having problems with my phone, shattered screen and everything. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if any ideas that might help me with this rear steer setup, suspension links, any of it. If you see something here that I'm doing that I might be able to improve with these upper links, because literally the only thing I can think is to go into the floor here or drill out another set of holes in the chassis rails on each side, and that's going to put them upper links really sharp, angled out, like this, unless I go way forward. I don't know. Anyway, cutting the video off. Thanks for watching. See what comes out of me next.